For the radio. Hello. Come on. Hello, somebody. Yeah, I'm going to move my body. What's happening? What's happening, beautiful people? It's your host of Inside the Trenches, Marlon Big Fave Favorite. I'm super excited right now. My LSU Tigers tore it up today at the Pro Day. Malik Neighbors ran like a 4.35, a 4.34. He said, fix it, 4.28. He was rolling. Jaden Daniels was out there making some pretty accurate passes. So shouts out to all the guys who participated in LSU's Pro Day earlier today. Had some good numbers get put out. I think Malik Neighbors also jumped like 42-inch vertical. That is huge. So I look forward to that. Continuing to announce tomorrow, as a matter of fact, tomorrow's show, I'll have that boy Fred on here. Me and him going to break down LSU's full pro day. But I am just excited for those guys. Also, Jaden Daniels had an impressive workout, threw some really good deep balls, and got the scouts going crazy. People saying Malik Neighbors is wide receiver number one. So I am excited about that. This segment is brought to you guys by Small Sliders, baby. 1635 Barataria Boulevard in Marrero. Talk to me now. Shouts out to MC Thick, the late great MC Thick. That's his song Marrero. And you could go to Small Sliders and look, you could ask for like, man, what Big Fave get when he go over there? They say, oh yeah, they want them fries the Smalls way. Get you a burger, delicious shake. And you could check us out there as well, 11 to 1. 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Friday. We do our pre-recording out there. Y'all can come join us. We'll be giving away some things out there. And be sure to text 94253 Big Fave. You're going to text that to us, BIGFAV, for that deal. You'll want to get into that so we can get y'all some specials, get y'all some complimentary tickets, so on and so forth. I like to take care of the people who listening to me on the radio dial, so y'all for sure text 94253. Big Fave is the message you text BIGFAV. Pels had a tough loss at home, y'all. I was so excited about the game. They fought back as much as they can. They actually started to come back big in the fourth quarter, got the fourth quarter lead, was up, I want to say it was like 12 to 108. And then defensively, I thought the Pels took a step back. This isn't. This is a huge loss because it is a Western loss. Right now, the Pels are 44 and 28. Oklahoma City is now 50 and 21, and Holmgren, he balled out. Jalen Williams, he balled out. You had that boy SGA doing his thing. Giddy looked like he was out there trying to do the gritty. Look, I'll tell y'all this, y'all. I just thought that Oklahoma City, they just finished. That was the difference. They in the fourth quarter, they finished. They made sure, and coach commented about that, a few of the players as well in the post game interviews. And it's just like the transition defense was a bit off in that, like, if they played better defense in, let's say, the last 30 seconds of the game, I mean, 45 seconds, I'll say. If they do that, this team wins. They're victorious at home, and we're yelling Pels go all the way. And I'm gonna keep yelling Pels go all the way because I do think that the Pels will have opportunities here coming up. But this, to me, this was a learned loss. Um, the way that Zion is playing consistent, I like that. He's drawing double teams, making guys sometimes triple team him, which is opening up opportunities for Trey Murphy. Trey Murphy last night, I want to say he had like maybe 16 points, but he did his deal. SGA, Shai Gidgeris Alexander is one of those players to me. The way he was able to steal the ball at clutch times, the whole game he was making steals like that. Something that you got to give OKC their credit. They came to play defense, and if you look at them from an offensive standpoint, you just looking at the board. Off of the bench, you have a guy like, let's say for instance, Wallace. He had 7 points off the bench, right? You look at a guy like Dart, 6 points as their guard, mainly in the fourth quarter. But it was SGA and his 24 points and Jalen Williams that really got us with his 26 points. The way these guys were able to assist, SG, we talked about the 2 steals he had, clutch moments in the game. This was a good test for the Pels. I still think that we're one of the more dominant teams in the West. This was a home game. I know that they wish that they could get back, but I just feel like the way Oklahoma City, for the most part, controlled this game from the beginning to the end. It was in the fourth quarter when the Pels started to really rev up and start making some plays and fighting to get back in this game. I mean, we were up. CJ McCollum from the 3-point, what he's doing better now, making those buckets. Zion, as I mentioned, he was dominant. He had 29 points in this game. He was 10 for 17. But it was the consistency of OKC that really helped them dominate this game all together. What's your thoughts on the Pels? I want y'all to chime in. Y'all could tweet me right now at BigFave504. How do you feel? Do you feel confident in the Pels moving forward? OKC, in my opinion, you look at OKC, you look at the Timberwolves, you look at the Denver Nuggets. These are teams that are competing at a high level and basically gearing up. All the teams I mentioned for a deep playoff run. The Pels were 4 before this game in terms of their ranking in the West. And it's going to be important for a few players to really continue to stay consistent because it wasn't all bad yesterday. It really wasn't in the Smoothie King Center. We wanted them to lose. It was so close. Alvarado got hurt. I thought that him getting hurt in the fourth quarter hurt us because the combination between C.J. McCollum and Alvarado is one of the best in the West. You have 2 guys that handle the ball exceptionally well at the point. Zion, when they toss that ball into the paint to Zion and you see 2, sometimes 3 defenders come, that kick out to Marshall coming off of the bench. I thought Larry Nance was huge in this game. Eunice, I wanted to see more from Valentina, from Eunice, because I think if he could average, let's say, whether it's off the bench or in the starting lineup, if he can average 15 points a game, we're in a good position. Trey Murphy has about 4 3-pointers in the game, along with a pair of, whether it's 20-footers, whether it's driving to the rim. He puts us in a big position. I thought Herb Jones, I thought he balled out in the win against Detroit. That's when we started, not on Herb, right? That defensive campaign. But here's a guy who came into this game and was, man, I thought he was hitting the Dr. J alley-oops. Man, he was rolling. I thought he was impressive in his game from an offensive standpoint. He made some clutch plays for the Pels. As far as what are some areas that they really need to focus on as they go into the next game, it's for sure transition defense. It's bam, we just scored. All right, y'all, let's get out of it. Let's get back focused. Let's put ourselves in a position to continue to sustain, to fight through this game. And I think that's something. Looking at this loss to OKC is something we have to keep in mind in that regard. As far as performances go, I was talking about the 31 minutes that Herb played, but just looking at this statistically for him, the 4 assists, Trey Murphy having 16 points, not what we wanted him to be for 39 minutes. Now, Larry Nance in that fourth quarter, the way he contributed, I thought was big. So I think for the Pels, it's just going to be a continual process for them to get better on defense and stay consistent the way y'all doing scoring. It's inside the trenches. We're here on ESPN New Orleans. Getting this thing sparked off, baby. I hope y'all enjoying yourselves. Y'all don't go anywhere. I'll be back with my homie Hunt from the Hunt Palmer Show, ESPN Baton Rouge, and it's ESPN New Orleans you're listening to. Hello. Hello, somebody. It's the host of Inside the Trenches podcast, Marlon Big Favorite. Did you know Small Sliders had an app? You can go to your Google Play Store or your Apple Store right now, download the Small Sliders app in Marrero, and order your food right now. You want to get a number 2? Well, slide through. 1635 Barataria Boulevard in Marrero. Small Sliders. Simple on purpose. Hello, somebody. Thank y'all for checking out Inside the Trenches show. We want all of our exclusive listeners to text Big Fave to 94253 now to join our exclusive hot list. Unlock access to mouthwatering food specials, complimentary game tickets, VIP events, and more. Don't miss out on all the excitement. Text Big Fave to 94253 today. That's spelled BIGFAV. Are you a student athlete looking to take your career to the next level? Look no further than Conquer Sports Pros. That's right, Conquer Sports Pros. Our team of experts will get you guys on the right path to your student athlete journey in life. That's right, we have every position in football you need, and we also help out with other sports. At Conquer Sports Pros, you have everything from a list of consultation, training, and also media training. Yeah, that's right, when you take your career to the next level, play college and hopefully pro, you'll get lots of interviews. Call Conquer Sports Pros today. You can reach them at 504-319-6672 or visit marlonfavorite.com for more information. Hello, somebody. Are you looking for your dream home? Well, if that's the case, you need to contact Joe Picolo at Godwyn Realty, right here in New Orleans. Joe can put you in your dream home right away. Joe Picolo and the folks over at Godwyn Realty put you in the house that you need. Even if you're looking to invest in some property, they'll do an excellent job with that as well. Contact Joe today at 504-251-8341. Again, that phone number is 504-251-8341. And also contact Joel at joel.godwynrealty.com. No need to dream anymore. Godwyn Realty will put you in the dream house of your reality. Hello, somebody.
It's that boy Fred, host of FanView Podcast. Tune into the NOTN app weekdays, 3:30 for the FanView Podcast. Go to NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com to watch more episodes of FanView Podcast. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and watch.
Listen up. Your customers, our listeners, could be hearing about your business right now. Yeah, right now. Don't miss out on the opportunity to advertise with NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. Call our business department today at 504-475-4793 to hear about our great rates. NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. We provide the people, you provide the business.
Hello, somebody. It's Marlon Big Favorite with Inside the Trenches podcast. Do you need a quick car wash? Well, if that's a yes, you need to visit Crown Car Wash, 1336 Stump Boulevard, Gretna, Louisiana, on the West Bank, baby. Crown's the best. You get a spotless wash, nice clean tires, reasonable pricing, and free vacuuming. My favorite part about Crown Car Wash, they open 24/7. That's right, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can visit Crown Car Wash on the West Bank, baby, and let them know you heard about them on Inside the Trenches podcast with Marlon Big Favorite. Watch out there now. What's up, beautiful people? Yeah, we jamming over here. It's Inside the Trenches podcast. I'm your host, Marlon Big Favorite, and you're now listening to us on ESPN New Orleans. That's right, 6 to 8 p.m., Monday through Friday. You'll be able to hear your boy and the crew here as we are streaming live, too, on New Orleans Talk Network. Now, this segment is brought to you by Marrero Motors. Marrero Motors, 1512 North Causeway Boulevard in Marrero, Louisiana. If you need a used car, really good used car at a reasonable price, my man Alberto will hook you up. Hunt, you good with your whip, right? You don't need any new vehicles or anything like that, huh?
I'm in good shape right now. My car got paid off, so I'm not quite in the market, but that's all right.
There you go. Joining me right now is my good friend and co-host with LSU Sports Radio. Joining me here every week on Inside the Trenches podcast, Hunt Palmer. You can check him out on the Hunt Palmer Show, 1 to 3 p.m. every week, Monday through Friday, and you can follow him on X at Hunt Palmer 88. Hunt, what's good, baby? How's it going?
Things are good. A lot going on in the sports world here in Baton Rouge.
That it is. I want to get right into it. I thought you had a very interesting piece about Coach Mulkey and this whole situation with the Washington Post trying to find a story on her. I just think it's a big distraction now to the Lady Tigers, huh?
I don't know how big a distraction is. They played okay for 3 halves over the weekend and then really well for 1 half, and they realize that they've got to play better this coming week if they want to win 2 more games and get to the Final Four. You know how Coach Mulkey is. She's gonna be aggressive, and she's gonna stand up for herself and her team and her players, and it's not gonna bother her a bit. My take on the whole thing is that I just don't quite understand why everybody's in such an outrage when we haven't even read the story. I'll react to whatever the story is when I read the story, and if I think it's credible and I think it's a well put together piece, I'll say that, and if I think it's garbage, I'll say that. I think the fear, if you're suggesting that it's going to be a poorly done story, it will be a reporter who does not have a tip, who just decides, you know what, I'm going to call a bunch of people and see if they have anything negative to say about Kim Mulkey, because that's not reporting. That's having an agenda and a narrative and trying to support it with quotes. If Kim Mulkey has done something unprofessional, if she's done something illegal, if she's done something that's against the NCAA rules, and they find that, well, that's reporting, and that's the way it goes. So at this point, I don't have any negative energy toward this Washington Post writer until I read the story, and we'll see what happens at that point. But I don't think it will be a huge deal to the women's basketball team. I think they'll stand on their own merit.
And I think that's the most important thing, Hunt, that they're able to cut out the outside chatter. And I do appreciate that about Coach Kim. She handles it. I kind of wish Coach Dennis Allen had a little bit more of that energy here with the Saints. After all of that Atlanta stuff, it seemed like he threw his players under the bus, and that's not really the best way you want to handle it. Here's a woman here from down south New Orleans area, just north of us, and she's handling it the way that it should be handled, where the girls don't have to deal with any of that. I see Flaugier getting her big favor on. She promoting her new singles and stuff like that. It's about that good energy around it, so I do appreciate that. Let's get to the game, though. On the 30th, this weekend, 12 p.m. game on ABC, we do take on the Brewers, UCLA Bruins. 27-6 they are, and we're 30-5 in our regular seasons. Hunt, what's your thoughts on this matchup?
Yeah, UCLA's had a good year. They had a battle on their hands back on Monday night. West Virginia gave them just about all they wanted, but they were able to come out ahead. All I know, I don't know a ton about UCLA. What I do know is they're very big. They've got a girl on their team that's 6'7" that played for Team USA. That's who Angel Reese will be battling for most of the day, and Angel's got to make sure she stays out of foul trouble. That's been an issue for her at times this year, and when they've got to go to the bench to Del Rosario, it's a drop-off. So, look, LSU, if they play like they did in the second half of the round of 32 game here against Creighton, they'll be in great shape. So that wasn't Creighton, sorry, against Middle Tennessee. They'll be in great shape. If they play like they did in the first half of that game, they'll get beat. LSU's good enough to play with UCLA and to win the game. It's just a matter of how well they play, and we'll just have to see this weekend.
I think it's about, for them, once they have the momentum going, I see in the first quarter the momentum going. When you look at that Middle Tennessee game, Middle Tennessee had a pretty big run in that second quarter, and our girls got back on top of that. I get what you're saying. In a game against UCLA, here's a team that wants it just as hard as us. They did take on Creighton and perform. Creighton, it was a fight. Those ladies fought 4 quarters, but I see where ESPN has it at 52.7%. The Tigers will win out at Albany, New York, in the MVP arena this weekend. The Lady Tigers have a lot of good energy. When you start looking at key players, I mean, for me, it's Angel Reese down in the paint, baby. It's the 19 rebounds she had in this recent game. It's the way, 10 points, 10 solid points, really kind of what Zion is doing here for us in New Orleans, being that presence in the paint, demanding 2, sometimes 3 defenders.
Yeah, Angel's the heart and soul of the team. She's the heart and soul of the program. She's been fantastic for 2 years here, and I'm sure she'll play really well. And they need Michaela Williams to shoot it well. She's been up and down, and she's been a little banged up late in the season, so they need her to knock down some threes. They need Haley Van Lith to watch the turnovers, and Flauger's been awesome for them, especially driving to the bucket. So it's going to take everybody at this point. You can't do it with one player. And Iowa will try, but you got to have everybody at this point. And LSU is plenty good enough to go as far as they want to go. It's just a matter of stepping up to the moment and making plays, and Angel Reese is certainly a big piece of that.
I want to go to the owners of the Alex box. Switch gears to baseball here a second. We had a rough one against Florida this weekend, huh?
Yeah, it looks really rough when you look back at it because you lost the series and you got run ruled for a second consecutive Game 3. You were one pitch away from winning that series, and you controlled the entirety of the action Friday and deep into the game on Saturday. And then Florida, got a break with the called third strike that got away, and they were able to score a run and keep the inning alive. And then they got a big hit with 2 outs in the ninth off Nate Ackenhausen, and were able to win that game with a 2-run homer from Jack Caglione late. So you were – it's not quite as bad as it probably seems to LSU fans that have such massively high expectations. The problem is that you compound it because your next 3 weeks are so difficult. You've got to go face the number 1 team in the country on the road this week and the best pitcher in the country on Thursday night. Then you've got a Vanderbilt team coming in that's got plenty of talent next week. And then the following week, you got to go to Knoxville, which is probably the most difficult place in the league to play. Mm-hmm. So it's just a very, very difficult run. You got to take it one game at a time. Yes, they've lost their first 2 series. That's not a great place to be in, but 10 of the 14 teams in the league are between 4-2, 3-3, and 2-4. LSU's one of those. So it's early. You just got to keep grinding.
They got to keep grinding, baby. Go Tigers. Let's get it going. Hunt, thank you so much for coming on the show. Before I let you go, brother, what's happening with the Hunt Palmer show, man? What's good on the show this week? What could some of our viewers maybe tune into your ex on at Hunt Palmer 88 and check out what you're talking about on the show?
Yeah, lots going on. Obviously, big baseball weekend up in Fayetteville. The Lady Tigers, like we talked about, LSU had Pro Day. And Malik Neighbors put on a show, and some other guys had some good times. Jordan Jefferson's won as well, Jaden Daniels' throw. So we'll talk a little bit about that. And Pels are playing well, too. So it's a tough loss last night, but it's been a good run for them. So there's lots of going on with us 1 to 3 every day here in Baton Rouge.
That's what I'm talking about. That's my brother, my partner in crime, Hunt Palmer. Y'all be sure to check out his podcast on ESPN Baton Rouge 104.5 FM, The Hunt Palmer Show, 1 to 3 p.m., Monday through Friday, every week. Hunt gonna bring it. Look, that's my bro, brother. We LSUsports.net brothers. And Hunt, man, you have yourself a good week, and we're gonna catch you back on here next week, brother. Hello, somebody.
Yes, sir, Fade. Happy Easter.
Happy Easter, brother. Enjoy the Easter break. Y'all don't go anywhere. It's your boy, Marlon, Big Favorite. We live here at New Orleans Talk Network studio. It's ESPN New Orleans. You guys are listening to Inside the Trenches. Hello, somebody. We'll be right back. Are you a student athlete looking to take your career to the next level? Look no further than Conquer Sports Pros. That's right, Conquer Sports Pros. Our team of experts will get you guys on the right path to your student-athlete journey in life. That's right, we have every position in football you need, and we also help out with other sports. At Conquer Sports Pros, you have everything from a list of consultation, training, and also media training. Yeah, that's right, when you take your career to the next level, play college, and hopefully pro, you'll get lots of interviews. Call Conquer Sports Pros today. You can reach them at 504-319-6672 or visit marlonfavorite.com for more information. Hello, somebody. Hello, somebody. It's your boy Marlon, Big Favorite. And when I'm hungry, I like to make my way to Small Sliders, 1635 Barataria Boulevard, Marrero, Louisiana. Simple on purpose. When I tell you their burgers are delicious, have some great sauce on them, I'm telling you, when you're just hungry and just need to grab a quick bite, this is the perfect place for you. Small Sliders. The customer service is nice. It's somewhere you can bring the family, hang out and chill, enjoy the atmosphere. Now I'm a big boy, so when I like to take my Small Sliders, I like to get the biggest smalls. Double patties, bacon, cheese, you name it. Just a delicious burger. And I like to top it off with my favorite, the cookies and cream milkshake. There are 3 delicious flavors: milkshake, chocolate, vanilla, and cookies and cream. Small Sliders. Simple on purpose. Y'all come on and slide through, baby. And let them know that you heard about them on Inside the Trenches with your boy Marlon Big Fave Favorite. Watch out there now. Well, hello, it's Marlon Big Fave Favorite with Inside the Trenches podcast. Are you looking for a brand new car? Or you're tired of what you're driving around in? Or you just need wheels? Well, if that's the case, you need to visit Marrero Motors, 1512 North Causeway, Metairie, Louisiana. At Marrero Motors, our buddy Alberto will get you in a vehicle that fits you that day with no problem. They have vehicles that are pre-owned. You could do a trade-in that day and ride off in something that day. Visit MonteroMotors.com for more information and let them know you heard about them on Inside the Trenches podcast. Hello.
Step Construction is here for you with a brand new offer. We now provide affordable storage sheds. Stop wasting your money on overpriced storage units and portable containers. Step Construction can provide you with a custom shed that will fit your budget and storage needs. So contact Step Construction today at 504-340-5809 for your own personal quote. Let us help you take the next step at Step Construction.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We vibing over here, baby. It's Inside the Trenches. I'm your host, Marlon Big Fave Favorite. You listen to us now on ESPN New Orleans. It's New Orleans Talk Network. We're having ourselves a great time on this hump day evening. Y'all driving home right now. Hope y'all driving safe, enjoying the show. The show is just filled with great energy right now, and I'm loving it, baby. That is right. And this segment is brought to you guys by Crown Car Wash. That is 1336 Stump Boulevard in Gretna, Louisiana. They're open 24/7. You can hit up Crown and 9 o'clock at night. Y'all can head there right now this evening. They open. Really good prices. That's Gretna, Louisiana, 1336 Stump Boulevard. Make y'all way over there. The recruiting process is totally different than it's ever been before. And I'm talking high school recruiting for football players. I remember a time where Coach Hank, shouts out to Coach Hank. Coach is going to join us on the show here in a few. Not today, but hello somebody. Coach going to come on this week. I remember Coach Hank buying 100 blank tapes, popping these tape in, breaking stuff down, him and his coaching staff, breaking all the film down, finding all of my highlights, finding me and my teammates' highlights, guys that Coach is like, I'm dating this a little bit, right? When Coach Ed Ogeron was at SC, coming down there, hey, Hank, what you got there? Let me sit down and show Marlon some film of Warren Sapp and how it's done. Right? Those days, early 2000s and before, a coach would have to take his precious time to make you a tape on VHS, mail that thing off to Colorado, to Miami, to USC, to LSU, to Auburn, to Tennessee, and then the coaches would then get the tape, and then they would evaluate and watch players and make visits. Today is totally different. Kids can grab their huddle and make them a quick highlight, and they can market themselves. That's what we do at Conquer Sports. We help kids navigate the recruiting process. We give them an opportunity, me and my staff, to develop. And at the very end of the day, it's on all of us. It's on the hire company. It's on the parents. It's on the student athlete, on and off the field. This hits very personal for me and my wife. We have a son in college right now, oldest boy, Kentrell, at Northwestern State. He's their punter. They're in spring ball right now. And it was a process. Kentrell had to want that too. and I'm in the business, playing in the NFL, it was a task on him to get to this level. Still is. So it is on the players a lot. I was reading a couple of articles online, listening to a few other shows, and what's common is nothing was the same. I mean, I'm talking Drake's album, Head Turned to the Side, Head in the Clouds. Nothing was the same. It's totally different. Nowadays, first and foremost, and Deion Sanders is, Coach Prime is quoted saying this a lot. I mean, to be honest with you, we're not even recruiting in high school like that, right? I'm getting most of my guys from the portal. I'm only saving about maybe 4 or 5 scholarships for high school guys, and they getting the bottom end of the stick. Like, this is Coach Prime's words. This is legit his words. It's a different deal. As a high school athlete, now this is the new recruiting process we're talking about, and this is for the high school athletes. And I would love for y'all to chime in. Y'all can hit me up at BigFave504 on X. If you guys are listening, you can hit me up also on Instagram at BigFave504 if you want to DM me. But at the very end of the day, this process is a lot. It's difficult in different areas, I should say, right? I'll point out a few areas. NIL. Because of name, image, and likeness, coaches can now, and the transfer portal, it's like they're combined. It's like both of them are fighting high school football. You have these NIL deals going to the best players in the portal. These are guys who have been either starters or rotational starters at Power 5 colleges that are able to come in and plug and play for you right now. Because it is a challenge. Like, these coaches aren't intentionally doing this to hurt our young men. They have to win now. And now that they can, it's pre-NFL. This is legit NFL now. It's no longer the way college football used to be. And that goes for the other sports as well. I'm just speaking about a sport that I played and the difference that we deal with. My company deals with mainly football players. So these are the things that we're dealing with on a day-by-day basis with our clients. I have a student right now, Christian Thibodeau, offensive lineman, about 6 foot, could play guard at a SWAC school or even an FCF school. I can't just send his tape to the coaches and they'll have 5 to 7 scholarships available for him. They're going to throw around PWO. PWO is a preferred walk-on, and that's basically the school might can get you some tops or things of that nature, and they can then bring you in on a partial scholarship, and that's why it's important for our students to also have their academics in the right place, because that GPA comes into play. You have to be able to get as much money outside of an actual football scholarship as possible, and then you didn't go compete. So as coaches are now getting guys out of the transfer portal, that's fighting against it, because you're getting established guys that can help you win right away. All these schools we talk about on here do it all the time. Colorado, LSU, it's just a way of life now in football. I mentioned on a few shows ago that Division II football, NCAA Division II football, is the new Division I. So these scholarships that used to get thrown out to the top prospects in high school, and these are top prospects we're talking about, that are getting the short end of the stick, because you have a kid who's competed well on the college level, was a starter, have some skins on the wall. It's no different from an NFL player who's fulfilled his first contract, which is typically 3 to 4 years, and then you can kind of have an optional year to renegotiate, restructure. All of that comes into play. That's the new guy who's transferring out of the portal from Clemson to LSU. Hello, somebody. That's the new guy. So that scholarship is for sure, and most of the NIL money is going to that prospect that's already proven. For that high school kids, we talked about how players come in from high school and do well, and they compete, and the coach see potential in that guy. Oh yeah, now that player, you can then go ahead and that's the 4 to 5 scholarships that Prime talking about. Now you have a unique situation with some of these coaches. You have some coaches that can develop. I think when you look at Coach Brian Kelly and the way his contract is at LSU, you can bring in a guy like Ashton Stamps, who's from Louisiana, that could be a part of your program. Him and his brother Christian, they both at LSU. They could be a part of your program for 4 years, right? That's not the norm anymore. You don't find, that's why I say Coach Kelly could bring in more high school players, but he got to hit that portal too. Hello, right? You have a guy like Ricky Collins. Yeah, he came in from high school. I mean, Ricky on it. I mean, he competing right now for 2 behind Nussmeier. You heard me? So if you look at it from that perspective, he's a high school player that's close to an anomaly. Whereas the guys who are pretty good, who could develop and be better, now would have that opportunity to get those scholarships then. Now it's handful of high school players, a ton of guys in the portal. So I think Prime mentioned something along the lines of, man, the NCAA need to really figure out getting some more scholarships in here so we can get the high school players in and, we can do that thing. You know what I'm saying? He's 100% correct with that. If y'all are just hopping in y'all's vehicles, cutting it on ESPN New Orleans, it's your host, Marlon Big Favorite Wright. We're talking the new recruiting process and just giving tidbits for parents. Here's a few tidbits as we, wrap up this segment. Start early. Freshman, sophomore year, start going to these camps, getting in front of these coaches. Keep these coaches in a loop with your film. These are some of the things that we do. That's one. 2, you got to put it on tape. We could talk till we blue in the face. The eye in the sky, hello somebody, it never lies. So make sure that if someone just sneezed in the studio, so it must be the truth. Bless you. It's that truth. And lastly, and most importantly, man, it's what you do off the field. Keep God first. Keep working hard. Be big time. Be big time in the classroom. Be a leader in the classroom, and you'll have those opportunities. This is Inside the Trenches podcast, baby. Don't go nowhere. We're going to keep this party rolling. Man, hour 1 is kicking off just the way we want it to, baby. Hello. Yeah, it's Inside the Trenches on ESPN New Orleans. Don't go nowhere.
Hello, somebody. It's Marlon Big Favorite with Inside the Trenches podcast. Do you need a quick car wash? Well, if that's a yes, you need to visit Crown Car Wash, 1336 Stump Boulevard, Gretna, Louisiana, on the West Bank, baby. Crown's the best. You get a spotless wash, nice clean tires, reasonable pricing, and free vacuuming. My favorite part about Crown Car Wash, they open 24/7. That's right, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can visit Crown Car Wash on the West Bank, baby, and let them know you heard about them on Inside the Trenches podcast with Marlon Big Favorite. Watch out there now. Are you a student athlete looking to take your career to the next level? Look no further than Conquer Sports Pros. That's right, Conquer Sports Pros. Our team of experts will get you guys on the right path to your student athlete journey in life. That's right, we have every position in football you need, and we also help out with other sports. At Conquer Sports Pros, you have everything from a list of consultation, training, and also media training. Yeah, that's right. When you take your career to the next level, play college, and hopefully pro, you'll get lots of interviews. Call Conquer Sports Pros today. You can reach them at 504-319-6672 or visit marlonfavorite.com for more information. Hello, somebody. Well, hello, it's Marlon Big Favorite with Inside the Trenches podcast. Are you looking for a brand new car? Or you're tired of what you're driving around in? Or you just need wheels? Well, if that's the case, you need to visit Montero Motors, 1512 North Causeway, Metairie, Louisiana. At Montero Motors, our buddy Alberto will get you in a vehicle that fits you that day with no problem. They have vehicles that are pre-owned. You could do a trade-in that day and ride off in something that day. Visit MonteroMotors.com for more information and let them know you heard about them on Inside the Trenches podcast. Hello.
Now New Orleans has a choice. Download the New Orleans Talk Network app for your mobile device or listen at www.neworleanstalknetwork.com.
I really appreciate y'all vibing with me for real, though. You know what I'm saying? It's the host, Marlon, Big Favorite Wright, Inside the Trenches. We're here on ESPN New Orleans, but I appreciate y'all listening to your boy as y'all enjoying y'all evening here on this beautiful Wednesday, hump day, you dig, in the city. So, y'all, as I was prepping for this show, I was like, it's just too much happening at one time in regards to the NFL. It's like, I hear about this drop tackling thing, and it's like, I don't even know how to explain it to you guys, to be honest with you. We didn't really pay attention to the drop hip tackle before. It does bring me to the mindset of, this is something like rugby. The way they tackle, they're banning the safe rugby tackles away from us. So let's before I get into what this segment is about, there was a new rule to the surprise kick. I'm gonna actually relive a moment about the surprise kick, but I can't imagine a safe way to tackle as a defender with this new ban on the hip drop tackle. Now, I do understand to a certain extent why. Like, if you're locked on to make a tackle, if you tackle on a running back, you got him by the hips, and you pull him a certain way, you could potentially like roll his ankle or put his knee in a bad position to where he could tear a PCL or ACL. Who knows? So I do understand the safe piece of it, but what's a safe tackle now? Like, I want y'all to think about that for a second. Like, some of my folks listening right now, y'all more than likely played football at some point. Think about it. How we're going to tackle? It's no way of explaining this new deal of tackling. So I just think that might be something that get tossed out after next season. I don't know, because I don't see. I mean, you could try to do like what's called a knockdown tackle, or how most people say a clean shot on a player. Who knows? But anyway, I know how to get you. I know who knows how to get you in a house. Some rental property, commercial property, you name it. It's my homie Joe, who's usually on the show with me, with Godwyn Realty. That's Godwyn, Godyn Realty, Realty, Godwyn Realty. Y'all hit Joel up, joel@godwynrealty.com. If you're looking for some properties, Joel's going to have some more information for us about some opportunities here in the city. So y'all make sure y'all tune in and hit my man Joel up if y'all need something. But I was actually talking to Joel about this the other day about the drop hip tackle being banned. Like, he played linebacker in high school. He's puzzled too. He don't know how it's going to happen. You can't, especially a quarterback, you can't hit him up high and none of that stuff. But anyway, I want to relive a moment of something that was banned. And my old teammate, Thomas Morris, had posted this moment that we had. He tweeted, he said, "The surprise onside kick is officially dead. The game continues to change." According to Big Easy, that's why I've heard this first on Big Easy Nation, the NFL has officially banned the surprise onside kick. This was on yesterday. The no fun league strikes again. This does take away from all of the fun. I can remember I was with the Saints at this moment. This when we were at the Super Bowl in Miami. I was maybe about 10, 12 yards from this play. And I remember hearing it in our halftime meeting, like, man, we're going to come out with this. Because I didn't go to the special teams meeting. I was just with the defense. And I remember hearing, I think we should go ahead and do it. Shouts out to Coach McMahon by dialing that up at that time. For sure, for us in the Super Bowl, it was a turning point. It was a momentum shift and a memorable play. But to see the game not be able to have that surprise element, it's just going to be tough on special team coaches and special teams players, because if you're down, you're coming out of half, or at any moment of the game, you're down and you have to steal a possession that's not an interception or a fumble recovery, wanting to get the ball back to steal the momentum as well. Like this game, we was going at it with the Colts in this one. And for the special teams coach to come with a surprise kick. Now, they can still, from what I understand with the rules, you can still kick an onside kick, but it just can't be a surprise. Surprise, surprise. So that is officially over. And I want to just kind of take a look at some other changes that's been made in Orlando this weekend at the league's meeting. The trade deadline is pushed back. Normally, it would be week 8, could be the final. I think now it's after week 9 that they can go ahead, and it allows teams an extra week. It's typically in the middle towards the end of October. I think now they're looking at maybe after Halloween, extending it. The NFL moved the trade deadline from, that's right, after week 8, that Tuesday afternoon, to after week 9. The idea was to set the deadline at the midway point of an 18-game regular season schedule. Makes sense, just moving it closer to the midpoint. If you're a team who feel like you're one player or two away, you can make some mid-season trades. They can start dealing with like the draft picks and things of that nature at that moment. But this gives that team that's right there. Like for San Francisco, they traded for Chase Young. Middle of the season, he added that little piece that they needed, a third down edge rusher to complement him. Like he came over and he wasn't even a starter, right? So that's another rule that was changed. Look at a couple of more here. And if you're just joining us, we're just talking about the surprise. The surprise onside kick is now dead. And for all the New Orleans fans, I know y'all remember that magical moment that got Hank Baskett fired. You know, he became a reality star after that. Eliminating the dropped kick tackle. We talked about that. The ability to challenge a third time with one successful challenge. So if you do have a successful challenge, you will have the ability to challenge it. So you can have a successful challenge, a non-successful challenge. But because you had a successful challenge, that allows you a third challenge. This is huge for head coaches. This is huge. It's so many critical games when you look at something like the no call here in New Orleans. Like, what if we could have really, really went back and challenged that? Like, think about that for a second. That changes let's be honest, we have now 2 Super Bowl rings as a city in that 2018 season. That's one that sticks. When you look at it from the perspective of, was that a catch? Was that a catch? Was he out of bounds? That third challenge matters. So I think bringing that in is big for another thing that could, just like I talked about, the onside kick, changing the momentum of that game for us in the Super Bowl. We saw this a lot this past playoff. Couple of things that looked like it was a catch, could potentially be a catch. Was it a penalty? Did that guy jump off sides? I mean, you name it, now coaches could come out and challenge it. So I think that was an interesting change as well. They had a new kickoff rule. So basically, the landing zone is between 20 and 10 yards on the opposite side of the opposing team's return. There's a set-up zone right at that 30, between the 30 and 35, approaching the half-field mark. And then the kickoff now starts. You look at the kickoff start line is now at that 40. So that was a bit different. They had a few more rule changes. And listen, I know a lot of this, y'all, stems from the NFL wanting to make it a safer game. But is it taking away too much of the fun? I understand high-low. Man, my brother Glenn Dorsey got hurt against Auburn. This had to have been our junior year because he got high load. So you want to protect the guys in the trenches as well. I mean, that's not a census plug for the show, Inside the Trenches. Watch out there now. That's something I look at. I look at protecting the quarterback. I know a lot of times the quarterback is in a vulnerable position. You want to make sure that guys don't aim at the quarterback head and aim below at the knee. I feel like with this new hip drop tackle band thing going, a lot of knee tackling, because now guys that can't aim at his hip. What, we thigh tackling now? Like, what we doing here? Hit him in the shoulder. Get him right on the shoulder. It really does, parts of it does seem a bit ridiculous, but at the same token, you have a situation where you have a bunch of folks surrounding the game trying to make it safer. So the safe bet is always the good way. Want to take a safe bet on properties? Hit up Godwyn Realty, baby. GODYWYN, Godwyn Realty. Hit my man Joel up. His email is joel@godwynrealty.com. He'll be on the show to tell us about if any houses pop up. Like, man, I saw this beautiful house in Gretna for you. You know, you think your people might want to get it? That whole spiel, Joel will get y'all covered, so y'all hit him up again at joel@godwynrealty.com. Y'all don't go anywhere. We just enjoying ourselves here at Inside the Trenches, man. Hour 1 off the chain, baby. We getting ready for hour 2. I had my brother Hunt Palmer join me in hour 1 to talk LSU baseball, the Lady Tigers. I'm going to have my homie, Preston. That's right, Preston going to join me in hour 2 to talk LSU spring ball. You know, gotta love the Tigers. It's Inside the Trenches podcast here on ESPN New Orleans.
Are you looking for your dream home? Well, if that's the case, you need to contact Joe Picolo at Godwyn Realty, right here in New Orleans. Joe can put you in your dream home right away. Joe Picolo and the folks over at Godwyn Realty put you in the house that you need. Even if you're looking to invest in some property, they'll do an excellent job with that as well. Contact Joe today at 504-251-8341. Again, that phone number is 504-251-8341. And also contact Joel at joel.godwynrealty.com. No need to dream anymore. Godwyn Realty will put you in the dream house of your reality. Hello, somebody.
Now New Orleans has a choice. Download the New Orleans Talk Network app for your mobile device or listen at www.neworleanstalknetwork.com.
Hello, somebody. It's your boy Marlon, Big Favorite. And when I'm hungry, I like to make my way to Small Sliders, 1635 Barataria Boulevard, Marrero, Louisiana. Simple on purpose. When I tell you their burgers are delicious, have some great sauce on them, I'm telling you, when you're just hungry and just need to grab a quick bite, this is the perfect place for you. Small Sliders. The customer service is nice. It's somewhere you can bring the family, hang out and chill, enjoy the atmosphere. Now I'm a big boy, so when I like to take my Small Sliders, I like to get the biggest smalls. Double patties, bacon, cheese, you name it. Just a delicious burger. And I like to top it off with my favorite, the cookies and cream milkshake. There are 3 delicious flavors: milkshake, chocolate, vanilla, and cookies and cream. Small Sliders. Simple on purpose. Y'all come on and slide through, baby. And let them know that you heard about them on Inside the Trenches with your boy Marlon, Big Favorite. Watch out there now.
Listen up. Your customers, our listeners, could be hearing about your business right now. Yeah, right now. Don't miss out on the opportunity to advertise with NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. Call our business department today at 504-475-4793 to hear about our great rates. NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. We provide the people, you provide the business.
Well, hello, somebody. Welcome back. It's Inside the Trenches show. I'm your host, Marlon Wright. Y'all listening to me on ESPN New Orleans. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Y'all tune in every Monday through Friday, 6 to 8 p.m., and I will be on your dial. Also, I need y'all to pull out your cell phone right now. Text BIGFAV, that's Big Fave, to 94256 now to join the exclusive hot list. You can unlock special deals on food specials, tickets to the games, you name it, as spelled out BIGFAV. We also want to thank our sponsor for this segment, UPT Sports Social. They're located at 3218 Magazine Street here in New Orleans. If you're looking for a spot to just catch the game, hang out, get some drinks, get some delicious food, y'all make sure y'all make y'all way to UPT Sports Social in the heart of the city on beautiful Magazine Street. And every Monday at UPT Sports Social, you guys can check us out on Magazine Street between 6 and 8 because y'all listen to me right now. I'm in the studio, but I'm out in the streets of New Orleans, baby. We're at UPT every Monday night, 6 to 8 for Inside the Trenches show. So, it's buzzing around the league, fellas. It's just, I'm talking to my man Mike and Tarek over here in the studio. You know, we got things buzzing around the NFL. I don't know if y'all heard this, but Tom Brady has just been approved for NFL ownership. Did y'all know that? Tom Brady. And this is, think about it, like in the grand scheme of things, if you look at it from a player's perspective, he does own the NFL. I mean, what other entity has 7 Super Bowl rings? Let's look at it. Like, all right, we got one here. That's a blessing. New Orleans, we're not on the list of teams that don't have Super Bowls because they do have those NFL teams as well. Miami being one of them. You have the Patriots, 6 rings. You have the Steelers, 5 rings. You have them Cowboys. They got 5 rings as well. You know, Steelers got 6. Steelers got 6. Cowboys got 5. I want to say San Francisco has 4. And then the list goes on. You have a pair of teams that have 2, so on and so forth. Well, Tom Brady has 7. Right? So they say Tom Brady he is the NFL, literally. So he's putting his bid in for the Las Vegas Raiders as a minority owner. Roger Goodell said it wouldn't have. Roger Goodell went on to say, I would have said it was a delay. Goodell said on Tuesday for the NFL's annual meetings at the Ritz-Carlton, we're going to go through with that very process. We're just going through our process. We've been in touch with their side, and I think everything is progressing. So basically, Tom Brady, pretty soon here, may be an NFL owner. What's y'all thoughts on that? Y'all can go ahead and hit me up on my Instagram or X at BigFave504. What do you think about that? Do you think, I mean, I've heard a lot. I don't know for sure. I've heard Emmitt Smith had a team of people who were trying to buy an NFL team. I've heard about Barry Sanders. I've heard about tons of NFL former players that attempted to do this, but for whatever apparent reason was denied. So I just thought that was just a thought. I mean, Tom Brady's my old teammate. I was with the Patriots for a short stint, so I congratulate him on that opportunity. Speaking of teammates, this guy wasn't my teammate, but we both LSU alum. Tre'Davious White, the All-Pro corner, is now around, baby. He out in L.A. From L.A. to L.A. They yelling, hello, Fave. $8.5 million deal. It has a maximum value of $10 million. Shouts out to Tre'Davious. He's dealt with some injuries in his career, but he's always been a lockdown corner. Just thinking about Tre'Davious in his NFL years, and even as a player at LSU, clutch, a specialist as well. Lockdown corner, has the speed. Another product from Corey Raymond's DBU core. So big ups to Tre'Davious. for being able to sign that contract. And listen, y'all, it is tough. He's 29 years old. It is tough to sustain an NFL career. Here's a guy who's been in the league now a few years, has really been a catalyst on that Buffalo's defense in the secondary, locking down some of the best players in our league. So congratulations to him. Just to take a look at his career, we mentioned he had to have major surgery, but in his time in the NFL, so far he's already had 18 interceptions, 68 pass deflections. I'm thinking back to my brother Keenan Lewis. Before he signed with the Saints, Keenan didn't have any interceptions, but he had a lot of pass breakups. So NFL scouts really do look at that even when they're building their team. And then 5 forced fumbles in his career. So big up to Tre'Davious. I think that's a really good fit for them, especially with those guys losing Jalen Ramsey to free agency, or right now they may utilize him as trade bait somewhere down the line. Here's a guy who was a Saint for about 18 years, Coach Payton. Word on the street, and I mean, it shouldn't be word on the street with the exit of Russell. It just is what it is. But they are in the market for a quarterback. They said that they're going to bring in a veteran quarterback as well, but that doesn't leave them from drafting a quarterback in the first round. It's been rumors that J.J. McCarthy may be a potential landing. This may be a potential landing spot to him in Denver. I don't know, y'all. I just honestly think that Coach Payton, he may try to trade up for like a Michael Penix Jr. or Mike still sitting on the board there at 12. But I think that if you look at this Broncos team, they're rebuilding in a few areas. They're rebuilding their receiving core. They are rebuilding on the offensive line. They are for certainly rebuilding at the quarterback position. And in a quarterback rebuild, I think an important piece is making sure you have veteran presence, right? You look at it from the perspective of having a guy that's at least been in the NFL, I would say 5 years. If you can, 5 years plus. That's why when the Saints had signed Teddy Bridgewater back a few years back as Drew Brees' backup, you had a backup that had the experience. I can't speak on how important that is. And we saw that firsthand in New Orleans. Drew went down and Coach Payton had Teddy Bridgewater. Teddy Bridgewater went on, I think it was like a 5-1 run with the Saints when Drew was down. But just looking at this Denver team, you have Josh Reynolds at their right receiver. You have Cortland Sutton. He's still in their receiving core. You have Marvin Mims in their receiving core. So that's their three guys. They're going to need a solid quarterback. You know, Jarrett Stidham is there, and you have Ben DiNucci. Yeah, I'm looking at a team that's going to probably look at a veteran that has a lot more experience and then drafting a quarterback. I think that should be the move to them. Y'all let me know what y'all think about that. But in all honesty, that would be a good move for Denver. Just thinking about some other teams that are in the market for a quarterback, when you start thinking of Arizona, right? They're going to see what Kyler Murray is going to do this year. But they're a team, I think, when you look at the weapons that they have in their receiving core now, you have Chris Moore in their receiving core. You have Michael Willis. They may potentially look at bringing in. They did bring in Desmond Ridder, right? But do you think maybe in their second round pick with the available quarterbacks that they have in this draft, they might take a look at that? They bring in Jonah Williams from Cincinnati, left tackle, to bring in some more protection for Kyler Murray. This is a make it or break it year for Kyler Murray, if you ask me. You know, they drafted him back in 2019. I think it'll be important for them to even take a look, because Desmond Ridder, Atlanta felt like they needed to part ways with him. So that was that. Well, that's y'all little look around the league, baby. We want to check what's the latest and the hottest around the NFL, and that's what we got here on Inside the Trenches. And we're going to keep those type segments rolling. I like to look around the league You dig? Yeah, it's Inside the Trenches, baby. We're here doing our thing. Remember, this segment was brought to you guys by UPT Sports Social, 3218 Magazine Street, New Orleans, Louisiana. And don't forget, put it on your calendar. Put it as a reminder every week, Monday, 6 to 8 p.m. We'll be there. Hello, it's Inside the Trenches on ESPN New Orleans.
Well, hello, it's Marlon Big Favorite with Inside the Trenches podcast. Are you looking for a brand new car? Or you're tired of what you're driving around in? Or you just need wheels? Well, if that's the case, you need to visit Montero Motors, 1512 North Causeway, Metairie, Louisiana. At Montero Motors, our buddy Alberto will get you in a vehicle that fits you that day with no problem. They have vehicles that are pre-owned. You can do a trade-in that day and ride off in something that day. Visit MonteroMotors.com for more information and let them know you heard about them on Inside the Trenches podcast. Hello. Hello, somebody. It's Marlon Big Favorite with Inside the Trenches podcast. Do you need a quick car wash? Well, if that's a yes, you need to visit Crown Car Wash, 1336 Stump Boulevard, Gretna, Louisiana, on the West Bank, baby. Crown's the best. You get a spotless wash, nice clean tires, reasonable pricing, and free vacuuming. My favorite part about Crown Car Wash, they open 24/7. That's right, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can visit Crown Car Wash on the West Bank, baby, and let them know you heard about them on Inside the Trenches podcast with Marlon Big Favorite. Watch out there now.
It's that boy Fred, host of FanView Podcast. Tune into the NOTN app weekdays, 3:30 for the FanView Podcast. Go to NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com to watch more episodes of FanView Podcast. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and watch.
Listen up. Your customers, our listeners, could be hearing about your business right now. Yeah, right now. Don't miss out on the opportunity to advertise with NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. Call our business department today at 504-475-4793 to hear about our great rates. NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. We provide the people, you provide the business.
Now New Orleans has a choice. Download the New Orleans Talk Network app for your mobile device or listen at www.neworleanstalknetwork.com.
Welcome back to Inside the Trenches. It's your host, Marlon Big Favorite. Thank y'all for vibing with me today, or should I say this evening. Hello, somebody. Joining me right now on the Conquer Sports Hotline, I have my good friend, Preston Guy from TigerBait.com. Y'all make sure y'all follow Preston at PGuy77. P, what's down, baby?
Hey, what's good, Big Babe?
Man, all is well. Just in here enjoying the show, brother. Doing what we love, talking sports, listening to a little entertainment. You were entertained this weekend from what I heard. You were at LSU's practice on this Saturday. How everything went?
Man, it was actually a good event. We were there for a good 2 hours. It's always weird to me having, grown up around the Les Miles era where, he let media in for 15 minutes per fall camp, and then we get 2 hours in one day from Brian Kelly. He's just like, let them in, let them see. We got some good action. There's a lot of intensity out there. There was a fight that broke out a little bit between Kylan Jackson and Kamorian Pimpton. Got to get a really good look at the team.
I think that's the most important piece for us members of the media is to get a closer look because I ain't gonna lie to you. You was on one show a couple weeks ago with me. We've been struggling to kind of get real information out about the team. Like, how's the running back room looking? We were so worried about the defense, how the defense is looking. So this is refreshing, the fact that we could be out there a little longer to check out the practices. I want to get into the positions: quarterback, running back, wide receiver. We kind of have a general idea where those positions are. We'll get into those. But I want to go on the defensive side of the ball first, particularly the defensive line. We know names like Savion Jones. We know names like Tank Guillory. Has anybody else at this practice Saturday that you went to stood out on the defensive line?
Really the story of the trenches were that the offensive line had the upper hand on the defensive line. But they pretty much controlled them all day long. So I don't know that there really was anybody standing out per se on the defensive line. Nobody really caught my eye. I know that's not ideal to hear, but when you start chopping things up on your second string defensive line for defensive tackle, you rolled out Sean Washington, the JUCO transfer, and then your next defensive tackle was Preston Hickey, a walk-on. So There's not exactly a ton of depth and playmaking going on that defensive line right now. I'm looking forward to see some young guys like Deshaun Womack step up, Dominic McKinley get on campus. But, yeah, man, defensive line, I mean, I'd be hard-pressed to tell you anybody who really shined. I mean, it was really the story of how good that offensive line looked.
Does that worry you a little bit? I mean, I do understand that we have incoming freshmen coming in, and then after spring ball, they're going to have some opportunity to get some guys in. In the same token, I know we just landed one of our first commits from the transfer portal, and Gia Pazzi. Do you think this guy coming in from Washington is going to add the depth maybe like we got from a Jordan Jefferson on the defensive line this past year? Or do we really have to lean towards the transfer portal after spring ball, not just because we need guys, but we need depth as well, good depth on the defensive line?
Yeah, straight up, it is an area of concern. It's something that has me a little shaking my head about this defense. I do think the team, is going to help a lot in coaching the players. Hopefully you're getting more out of players than you were before. But, I mean, there's just certain spots on the defensive line where, you're not even bringing back the guys who were here last year that struggled. You're playing with their backups right now. So I think Jacobian Guillory is a guy to keep an eye out for. We'll see about Gio Fazzi. He played defensive end. So is he big enough to scoot inside? I think there's some players who are going to have to scoot inside and probably going to have to get a true defensive tackle out of the portal. But, I mean, if you're asking me if defensive line could be a strength, no. I think that's going to be one of your weak points next year at this point.
What does make me feel a little confident about that is the linebacker position. Where the D-line is weak, you have to be creative with the linebackers you bring on the field. I know we have Swinson is a guy who's more of that defensive end stand-up guy, could play that ghost nine. He could play that five technique if need be. But I am confident about Greg Penn. I am confident about Harold Perkins, those two guys at the linebacker position. But the coach, Coach Blake, he's the defensive coordinator, right? But he's also the inside linebacker coach. Well, how was his energy out there at practice, and how did that linebacker group look?
I thought that the linebackers played fairly well. A little hard to say because, one of the things about playing linebacker is you got to actually get the back on the ground. You got to get the tackle made. So they're playing, thump or two-hand touch, whatever you want to call it. Well, they rolled with a 4-2-5, which was, I thought, interesting. It wasn't just a 4-2-5. The fifth defensive back really didn't play nickel. It was Major Burns coming in at what they call a star back position, which plays more like a rover safety, where he's kind of up on the line of scrimmage, where he's, flexing to the slot and providing some coverage in the box against the run. So it's kind of a hybrid linebacker DB position there. So some extra support there. But yeah, it was Greg Penn and it was Harold Perkins. I didn't see anything out of them that, where they really struggled mightily. They seem to be playing well in their new roles. On the backup unit was Weeks and Weeks. West and Weeks, the Weeks brothers, were manning it up on the twos, and I really like that depth at linebacker.
That's going to be huge for us. That second level, and you bring in a guy like Major Burns and have him play in the box. That's huge. That star position, it kind of reminds me the way Kansas City and Houston and even New Orleans use Tyrann Mathieu. You use him in the box. If they do roll with a slot receiver, he could bump out, cover that slot, could cover a tight end, could be an extra tackle in the box. I mean, that star position is unique, and this is something I was excited about when I heard Coach Blake was coming to LSU. Really good hire by Coach Kelly, because you have a guy from Missouri who really was being creative with how he was using that defense. I want to stay on defense a little bit. If you guys are just tuning into us, you're listening to my buddy, Preston Guy at PGuy77. Y'all follow him on X. Works for TigerBait.com. Lots of content. Preston typically comes on the show and talk high school football with me, but my boy texts me and say, "Fade, man, practice was litty, bro." So I had to hear about it. Good friend of the family. A client of ours with Conquer Sports Pros. He worked with my man Robbie Green as well with DPT training as well. Ashton Stamps. This is a kid I saw go from a wide receiver and working with me and Scholar at Conquer, getting with Robbie Green. Robbie really transformed him into a top cornerback in 2 years. That's why he was a late bloomer in recruiting. And to see him emerge last season and to get the good reports about him from training camp. Talk to me about Ashton Stamps and also other members of that LSU secondary.
Yeah, the secondary, at first half of practice, I'll say, they were getting toasted. I mean, Garrett Nussmeier is a talented quarterback, and there are lots of good receivers on this team. They were giving them the business at first, man. And, you saw Corey Raymond pull some guys like Ashton Stamps to the side and start giving some subtle coaching as they go, clearly rotating a lot of guys, trying to find, they're evaluating talent right now. They're trying to figure out who are my guys. Because there's certainly depth at defensive back. I think I counted it up. There's 21 defensive backs on the team. Well, you really don't need 21. You just need 5 to play well, ideally. So, they were getting cooked, and it was rough. They kind of settled into their own as practice went on, though, and while the offense was still moving the ball well. They were making some plays. Sage Ryan had multiple interceptions. Deshaun McBride, huge safety out of Denham Springs, he is physically ready to roll in the SEC. He was making some plays as well. PJ Woodland is an impressive cornerback. He's very small, but he's put on a lot of weight since he got at LSU. Probably needs another 15, but he's a guy who's nimble, who's quick on his feet. And they're rotating a lot of guys out there. Ashton Stamps is a starter, so it's Stamps, Taviano at corner right now, with Sage Ryan working your strong safety position. Looks like a really good fit for him. And then you've got the transfer, Jordan Gilbert at free safety, who was mostly serviceable for most of the day. He did get smoked by Kyron Lacey early on in practice and completely mossed. It was actually a very impressive play by Kyron Lacey. But,
hey man, Preston, I can't wait to hear more about LSU's defense from you, man.
And
it's so
Raymond's
much to look forward to with them.
I see some improvement.
What we'll do is we'll finish up a little bit more about LSU's offense next time we come on the show. We're up against the clock, man. I want to hear more, but y'all make sure y'all follow my man Preston Guy at PGuy77. Thanks for the insight on LSU's defense. Man, when we come back, we got more and more with Preston next week on the show. Press, sorry to cut you short, man, but I look forward to talking more about LSU's offense with you.
All right, thanks.
Thanks for coming on the show. It's Inside the Trenches podcast, ESPN New Orleans, baby. We'll be back. Hello.
Hello, somebody. It's Marlon Big Favorite with Inside the Trenches podcast. Do you need a quick car wash? Well, if that's a yes, you need to visit Crown Car Wash, 1336 Stump Boulevard, Gretna, Louisiana, on the West Bank, baby. Crown's the best. You get a spotless wash, nice clean tires, reasonable pricing, and free vacuuming. My favorite part about Crown Car Wash, they open 24/7. That's right, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can visit Crown Car Wash on the West Bank, baby, and let them know you heard about them on Inside the Trenches podcast with Marlon Big Favorite. Watch out there now. Are you a student athlete looking to take your career to the next level? Look no further than Conquer Sports Pros. That's right, Conquer Sports Pros. Our team of experts will get you guys on the right path to your student athlete journey in life. That's right, we have every position in football you need, and we also help out with other sports. At Conquer Sports Pros, you have everything from a list of consultation, training, and also media training. Yeah, that's right. When you take your career to the next level, play college, and hopefully pro, you'll get lots of interviews. Call Conquer Sports Pros today. You can reach them at 504-319-6672 or visit marlonfavorite.com for more information. Hello, somebody. Well, hello, it's Marlon Big Favorite with Inside the Trenches podcast. Are you looking for a brand new car? Or you're tired of what you're driving around in? Or you just need wheels? Well, if that's the case, you need to visit Marrero Motors, 1512 North Causeway, Metairie, Louisiana. At Marrero Motors, our buddy Alberto will get you in a vehicle that fits you that day with no problem. They have vehicles that are pre-owned. You could do a trade-in that day and ride off in something that day. Visit MonteroMotors.com for more information and let them know you heard about them on Inside the Trenches podcast. Hello.
Now New Orleans has a choice. Download the New Orleans Talk Network app for your mobile device or listen at www.neworleanstalknetwork.com.
Welcome back. Time flies when you're having a good time, man. We rolling here hour 2 Inside the Trenches on ESPN New Orleans. We're going to keep this thing rolling, baby. And listen, I know I mentioned this to y'all at the beginning of the show, but I just want to make sure you might have just tuned in. I don't want y'all to miss out on the deals. Y'all need to text Big Fave to 94253 now to join our exclusive hot list. This is going to unlock access to mouthwater and food specials. I'm talking about super cheap, great. Put this code in, complimentary game tickets, VIP events, and more. Don't miss out on the excitement. Text Big Fave to 94253 today. That's BIGFAV. We rolling. All my homies rolling. It's segment 7. And what I really wanted to talk about in this segment was the Saints. I wanted to save this piece for last. The Saints are preparing for the draft, and they're making the type of moves that make you think, right? Remember when free agency opened up again, and you just see all these blockbuster deals. I think the Saints are, like Lil Wayne say, moving in silence like lasagna. You know, real G's moving silence like lasagna. Some G moves here, right? But when you look at top need, me and CL was talking about this on yesterday. When you look at top needs for the New Orleans Saints, offensive tackle has now shot up to that board. Like, it's always been there, At first, right before Mardi Gras, we were seeing how the progression of Ryan Ramczyk was looking good, but now it looks like he's taking a few steps back. Coach Dennis Allen told New Orleans .com that he doesn't feel confident, have a lot of confidence in his recovery. He's not feeling a lot better about it. And when you don't think he's going to be ready for the season, you do have to start looking, not only looking from, through the, not only looking, you want to be able to look through free agency. There are some available guys that are worth it, but you even have to take a closer look at the draft now. Like, I think right now for New Orleans, one of the most important pieces is to figure out which one of these guys could be a plug and play. We missed a little bit, right? We missed a little bit with Trevor Penning. He didn't get a full year to show what he can do. I was asked a question on yesterday's show, how confident are you in Trevor Penning at left or right tackle? My answer was not confident at all. So if I'm not confident at all, I do have to look at moving a guy like James Hurst out there, see what my confidence level is. We bring in the young man from the Vikings. Could he compete for that spot? Do they have to look into the free agency portal again to maybe make the competition hotter? Or do you spend first-round money on it? I think in New Orleans' case, you could possibly find a day one starter in the second round. But if you do decide to go with it, I like J.C. Latham from Alabama. I think he's someone that can plug and play for New Orleans. The reason I say that, I just feel like SEC players, we just built different. I feel like when you bring in a guy from the SEC, we're already playing against top competition. I'm going to just pick a random NFL player, former or current, Cam Newton. Cam Newton came out of Auburn ready. What he put on tape at Auburn solidified his spot as the first pick overall by the Carolina Panthers, and Cam dominated this league. That's what I think about when I think about SEC players, and I want to stick with the SEC. If we go on 14 here, and if these guys are still available, if you don't have a big run on offensive linemen, I would look at Amarius Mims from Georgia, another SEC guy that can plug and play right away for you. When you look at those needs and fits in free agency, you got guys like Charles Leno, offensive tackle from Washington, DJ Humphrey, offensive tackle from Arizona, and then Minka Baton from the New York Jets. Do they look at guys like that coming on in there? So it just really makes you think on, okay, we're not confident in Ryan Ramczyk. We don't think he's going to be available. We're not fully confident. I'm guessing this. They may be totally fine with Trevor Penning staying at that other tackle position. When you look at where this team struggled at last year, we have to be able to look at it from the perspective of the run game wasn't where we're used to seeing it for New Orleans. That has a lot to do with the offensive line. When you look at this team and how Derek Carr at times didn't really have time to handle business, that's because you look at the offensive line position, or the guys that weren't available, should I say. Ryan Ramczyk now looks like he's not going to be ready for the season, or should I say training camp, or he may be a guy that may not be ready until middle of the season. Is Landon Young ready to roll? I'm not too confident in that. Where the Saints are solid at on their interior line, the Saints are solid on their interior line with Eric McCoy, with Cesar Ruiz. Those two guys to me have. Cesar Ruiz has made some progressions over the years. I do like him at that right guard position, but Eric McCoy, in my opinion, is probably a top 3, maybe 4 center in our league. So I look at him as a guy that continues to be a catalyst on that offensive line for them, and that's something that they have to look at. Now, I want to switch gears with the Saints, and listen, y'all, this stuff is going to change. I love for y'all to listen to me 5 days a week. This is going to change almost every day just because of the nature of free agency. Like we were saying, man, the Saints might keep Michael Thomas. After that comment, it looks like Mike's gone. Whoop, there's a report saying that Mike's out of there. Whoop, Saints are no longer signing Michael Thomas. So we went through the whole Michael Thomas dance. Then the Saints do sign Cedric Wilson in their second, bringing him in on a 2-year deal. I think he's somebody that's a solid player on your team. Is he your number 1 receiver? No, Chris Olave is. But will he be that 3 or that complimentary receiver with Rashid Shaheed? Just recently, Coach Dennis Allen expressed how he felt about the Saints and the direction that they needed to go in regards to adding depth and adding the right pieces in for these guys, at least going into training camp. Because y'all have to look at it like this too. You still have OTAs, organized team activities, to see how these guys look, right? You have, from a coaching standpoint, that'll tell you what you need to do post-June. Because at this point, the draft will be over, right? You brought the guys in that you feel in 1 year's time could contribute. So when you look at this Saints team and the pieces that they need to bring in, offensive tackle, and we'll talk a bit more Saints in the next segment. I like to go back-to-back segments with Saints, especially when they have so much stuff going on like right now. A guy that is a free agent at the wide receiver position for the Saints is Michael Thomas. I was just looking at a couple of reports online, figuring out some of the top landing spots for him. I like to do that, y'all. I have an idea in my mind, but then I go around and try to figure out, especially when guys like Louis Reddick is talking and folks who have been inside those draft rooms and deal with free agency head on. And it's 3 teams that really stick out. One team that stick out is the Los Angeles Chargers. Why I think the Los Angeles Chargers is a good fit for Michael Thomas, because you have a coach who could use some veteran support, and I do think he looks at that Michigan team and potentially draft one of their receivers or bring those guys in. You have a young quarterback, someone who could complement, relatively young, should I say. Justin's been in the league for a while now, so that's a team. 2 more spots here, teams before we take a break. Denver, for obvious reasons. Coach Payton drafted Michael Thomas, so in that's just a natural fit in itself. So I do think that Denver is a team. And this is just what it is, y'all. What the Cheetah said, Cheetah was like, hey, man, come on down here to Miami. We can roll with you, baby. Miami. Coach Josh McDaniels doesn't mind, snatching guys out free agency. It's Inside the Trenches podcast. Y'all stick around. We'll be back here on ESPN New Orleans. We got one more segment with the Saints, baby. Watch out there now.
Are you a student athlete looking to take your career to the next level? Look no further than Conquer Sports Pros. That's right, Conquer Sports Pros. Our team of experts will get you guys on the right path to your student athlete journey in life. That's right, we have every position in football you need, and we also help out with other sports. At Conquer Sports Pros, you have everything from a list of consultation, training, and also media training. Yeah, that's right, when you take your career to the next level, play college and hopefully pro, you'll get lots of interviews. Call Conquer Sports Pros today. You can reach them at 504-319-6672 or visit marlonfavorite.com for more information. Hello, somebody.
Hello, somebody. It's your boy Marlon, Big Favorite. And when I'm hungry, I like to make my way to Small Sliders, 1635 Barataria Boulevard, Marrero, Louisiana. Simple on purpose. When I tell you their burgers are delicious, have some great sauce on them, I'm telling you, when you're just hungry and just need to grab a quick bite, this is the perfect place for you. Small Sliders, the customer service is nice. It's somewhere you can bring the family, hang out and chill, enjoy the atmosphere. Now I'm a big boy, so when I like to take my small sliders, I like to get the biggest smalls. Double patties, bacon, cheese, you name it. Just a delicious burger. And I like to top it off with my favorite, the cookies and cream milkshake. There are 3 delicious flavors: milkshake, chocolate, vanilla, and cookies and cream. Small sliders. Simple on purpose. Y'all come on and slide through, baby. And let them know that you heard about them on Inside the Trenches with your boy Marlon Big Fave Favorite. Watch out there now. Well, hello, it's Marlon Big Fave Favorite with Inside the Trenches podcast. Are you looking for a brand new car? Or you're tired of what you're driving around in? Or you just need wheels? Well, if that's the case, you need to visit Marrero Motors, 1512 North Causeway, Metairie, Louisiana. At Marrero Motors, our buddy Alberto will get you in a vehicle that fits you that day with no problem. They have vehicles that are pre-owned. You could do a trade-in that day and ride off in something that day. Visit MonteroMotors.com for more information and let them know you heard about them on Inside the Trenches podcast. Hello.
Step Construction is here for you with a brand new offer. We now provide affordable storage sheds. Stop wasting your money on overpriced storage units and portable containers. Step Construction can provide you with a custom shed that will fit your budget and storage needs. So contact Step Construction today at 504-340-5809 for your own personal quote. Let us help you take the next step at Step Construction.
Yeah, Oh yeah, we jamming, baby. It's the host of Inside the Trenches, Marlon Big Fave Favorite. You're listening to us now on ESPN New Orleans. And remember, every Monday through Friday, 6 to 8 p.m., we'll be right here on this station, 100.3 FM, New Orleans. Time flies when you're having such a good time, and that's what it is doing here, just flying right on by. And we were talking Saints last segment, and I want to talk Saints again this segment because the big question is, are the Saints really looking for a possession receiver with their first-round pick? Tweet me at BigFave504. Let me know your thoughts. It could be a possession tight end. It could be a possession wide receiver. Basically, what Coach Allen is saying is we just need a pass catcher. So we're going to run that clip here shortly. And I just want you guys to think about it, start thinking about some names, some people that come to mind. But here's Coach Dennis Allen on what they need in terms of catchers.
I feel like the addition of in particular Cedric Wilson gives us a little bit of a veteran presence, somebody that's, kind of been there, done that. So I thought that was a good piece. I certainly think that's an area, in terms of a pass catcher, not necessarily a wide receiver, but a pass catcher, is something that we're going to, continue to look at. And I feel better about our depth now than I did a month ago, But but I think that's still probably a position that we'll look to see if we can't find somebody to add.
I agree with Coach. I think that they are in a better position now than they were 3 weeks ago or a few weeks ago, as he mentioned. You look at the top tight ends on this board. When he said pass catcher, when he said the word pass catcher, that put me in the mindset of someone who could catch the ball. That's all that means. That doesn't necessarily says wide receiver or tight end, but we're still going to look at those guys. So right now, you have Brock Bauer from Georgia, tight end from Georgia. Is Brock one of those guys that they may look at in regards to if he's now? Let me tell you something. It ain't no if. If he's still on the board, he is definitely going to get snatched up by the Saints if he's there. I'm not even going to sit here and make it as if he won't get picked up by the Saints. If he's still on the board, he will get picked up by the Saints. Now, there's some other guys that might fall 14 as well. You have Caden Stover, tight end from Ohio State. He has some for sure hands, has that blend of toughness, explosiveness, could block for you as well. You have Texas's tight end, J. Tavano Sanders. He's someone 245 pounds that ran a 4.640. He's someone that the Saints may potentially look at. But then, what if you can find your pass catcher in the second round, right? You may have a guy like A.J. Barner may still be Barner that's still available. You may have a guy like Jared Wiley from TCU who's still available. Big possession tight ends. That's what Coach said. Other catchers are wide receivers, right? You have wide receivers as well, maybe a position that falls off the board. You have a guy like Brian Thomas Jr., who's the Saints have put in their own mock draft. Like the Saints did this themselves. They put in their own mock draft. They put Brian Thomas Jr., someone that this team is definitely interviewed. He's more than likely going to go to the second interview. The Saints does a workout with the local guys. He's someone that they may fly in as well to take a look at some of the top receivers. If a guy like Rome Adomzi is available for that position, if he falls there, do you take a look at him? I doubt Marvin Harris Jr. will still be there. I doubt Malik Neighbors will still be there as well. But a guy like Rome Adomzi, he may still be there. We have some tape on him. I want to roll for our viewers watching us on YouTube. To me, when you look at his game, man, he was Michael Penix Jr.'s top guy that he targeted. So he has, when you look at his athleticism, what he's able to do in terms of athletic, being able to move his feet, catch the deep ball. I think when you look at route running as well, he's someone, in my opinion, has good feet. He has the ability to make guys step off, the defenders step off in those particular deep ball routes, so on and so forth. Just a big target for him throughout the year. Working with LSU Sports Radio, I saw Brian Thomas Jr. every home game, up close. That receiving core was just insane. You look at what him and Malik Neighbors did this year. Malik Neighbors, someone at his pro day earlier today, ran a 4.34, which made his stock go up even more. Then he comes back with the vertical, with the vertical, 42-inch vertical. Malik Neighbors is someone that won't be there, but Brian Thomas will. Brian Thomas has been a huge deep threat receiver for LSU this year, has the for sure hands, the speed, the burst. He had the second fastest time at this year's combine, right behind Xavier Worthy. He was at a 4.33, and Malik Neighbors just runs a 4.34. So these guys, it's scary hours for real with these guys in the NFL. I can't imagine if Brian Thomas is still sitting there, the Saints don't pick him up. So when you look at the tight end position, as we mentioned earlier, a couple of names like Caden Stover, that's if tight ends start falling off the board. Brock Bauer, we can imagine, is somebody who's going to fall off the board fairly quickly. It'll shock the whole world if he's sitting there still at 14. But again, if Brock Bauer is still sitting there, generational talent at the tight end position, 2 national championships with Georgia, I'm going to get him. Especially if the head coach saying we're looking for another pass catcher. I don't think he's talking about fullback catching out of the backfield. He's talking about a wide receiver and or a tight end. So y'all let me know what's your thoughts on that. Is that a possibility? You look at some other guys at the wide receiver position. You have Troy Franklin from Oregon. Him and Bo Nix, the way that those two connected throughout the year was big time. Franklin might get lost in the shuffle because of the Marvin Harrison Jr.'s and the Malik Neighbors and the Brian Thomas Juniors, but this guy is athletic as well. He runs smooth routes. He's a very confident receiver. I can see him as a potential somewhere down the line, a number 2 wide receiver in this league. Now, Donnie Mitchell from Texas, Xavier Worthy definitely had his stock go up after he ran the fastest time ever at the combine, but this was their best receiver. He's fluent. He has the size. He's really good against the tough matchups. He's someone when you look at a quarterback next year who's going to come off the board fairly high. And Ears, for Quinn Ears, he was really that receiver go-to guy for him. You think about Jaden Daniels and what Malik Neighbors and what Brian Thomas was for him. That's what he did for Quinn. I like it. We've been quoted saying this in previous shows with me and my co-host, saying that I wouldn't be upset if you have a decent pass catcher there. It's just because of the last few weeks. The Saints did address a few areas of concern. We were concerned about linebacker, especially with Zach Baum leaving in free agency. We were concerned about that position. You bring in a guy like Willie Gay, one of the first. Like I said, Saints were fairly quiet throughout the duration of right when, like week 1, they didn't make a lot of moves like most teams did. No big blockbusters, but I think that's big. Bringing in Willie Gay to add a little more athleticism to that linebacker position. When you look at them bringing depth in other areas, restructure some contracts, get some guys back in the building, you look at areas where there is need. No Ramczyk, potentially ready for the start of the season. Offensive line you have to look at. Michael Thomas, you're for sure hands guy, your record-breaking receiver out of the building now. So you do need another possession receiver, a guy that can make plays with his hands. Y'all, I had so much fun with y'all today. We're going to keep this party going. Yeah, it's Inside the Trenches. Yeah, we having a good time. 6 to 8, Monday through Friday. Yeah. It almost sounds like Shabua. Shabua roll call. No, y'all. But we like to have fun on the show. We want to thank all of our sponsors for the show, Small Sliders, UPT Sports Social. We want to thank Montero Motors for all that they do for the show. Conquer Sports Pros, always representing, showing us mad love as well. Godwyn Realty, shouts out to Joel. Y'all know my boy got y'all on the hookup with the houses. And just you guys for tuning in. Y'all taking time out listening to us today. And remember, don't forget, I need y'all to text Big Fave to 94253 to get some exclusive deals. Remember, that's Big Fave spelled BIGFAV. Y'all do that, man. I'm talking about complimentary game tickets. You name it, we're going to keep things rolling. ESPN New Orleans, we here, baby. New Orleans Talk Network, thank y'all. Mike and Tarek back there helping us keep this thing going. And we'll be here, same time, same place. ESPN New Orleans, Inside the Trenches. Hello. I'ma move my body. Yeah, I'ma be somebody. You never know